I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working.
What's up, everybody? Bitcoin has never done this before. And this is something that several people have actually brought to the attention, but I'm definitely going to bring to the attention as well. Because it's fascinating stuff, folks. It is fascinating stuff, boys and girls. I hope all of y'all are having a fantastic day. My name is ATX Crypto, and we're actually diving in today on the market pulse, getting a little update on what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Ethereum, checking out what's happening with the PulseChain prices because they're providing a better opportunity for many individuals. We're going to be diving into a little bit of all that and more. So happy April 1st. The first quarter of 2024 has passed, boys and girls, but not only has the first quarter of 2024 has passed, we're seeing some crazy things happen right now in terms of actual crypto as well. What you can see right from the jump, actually looking at this screen, is you can actually see Bitcoin has gone and once again stayed around the $69,866. That's the current price of Bitcoin at this point in time. So if we can actually zoom on in and see this on the monthly chart right now, that's always good stuff. So we've actually broken out of the previous all-time highs that it was having some trouble breaking out of. But at this point in time, something Bitcoin has never done, that's closed 7 months in a row of green candles, boys and girls. This has never happened in the history of Bitcoin. You can actually go all the way back to the very beginning of Bitcoin and see that not one point in time has there actually been 7 consecutive months of Bitcoin where it's been green candles. In fact, Ethereum has only actually ended up doing this one time so far at this point in time, and it was right here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, it wasn't that day. I believe. Okay, cool. It's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has actually only happened one time in Ethereum's history as well. But that was also back in 2020, going into the 2021 bull run. Bitcoin has already actually done that right now with 7 monthly green candles closed in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 consecutive months of green candles has never happened in the history of Bitcoin, boys and girls. That is very, very bullish. Now, do we expect a pullback? Yeah, at this point in time, I would think there should be some pullback, right? Like, who's with me on that? If you're with me on that, throw a little thumbs up in the chat. Throw a little I agree in the chat. Throw a little comment down below being like, nah, you're wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Right? We want to be mad bullish on all of this as well, but I would also love to see a nice little correction. And if we do get a correction, I do anticipate it to wipe out a ton of individuals. Because again, folks, Bitcoin's never done this before. It's never had back to back months of green candles consecutively. Not 7 in a row, at least, should I say. So that's kind of what's going on. That's some very bullish stuff. Now, again, we are starting the month of April with the beginning of a red. This is also going to be the halving month of Bitcoin. That halving is actually anticipated to still be, I believe, on the 20th or on the 19th of April. Let's do a quick little refresh on this page for Dune.com and see what's going on there. We got 21 days remaining until the halving. Well, technically, we got 20. I mean, it's already going to be on April 19th on this one. So we have less days on this one than it's even counting because, again, today's April 1st. By the way, happy April 1st to everyone, man. I've been staying off Twitter because, for the most part, I'm not a fan of April 1st. Never been a fan of it. Everyone's talking about, I'm quitting my crypto. I'm closing down my YouTube. I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing that. To me, it's all a gimmick and it's all a sham. And it's something that I definitely do not partake in myself. But again, I've seen so many people where it's like, I'm running for mayor. I'm doing this. I'm closing down my crypto. Guys, I'm deleting my Twitter. I'm doing all. Get past April 1st and all the fools who end up falling for it just is what it is, right? And so it's just a wild freaking time that everyone's end up experiencing. But neither here nor there. I hope all of y'all are also staying off Twitter as well today or off YouTube in terms of the people who are pulling the pranks and all that good stuff. Again, if you're looking for news on stuff like that in crypto, I'm not even going to be diving into any news on this one today. I don't want to be tricked with an April Fool's on this one for whatever the article may end up being for whatever reason why, whether it's truthful or not. I just don't want to dive in. I'll wait until tomorrow to see what the actual crypto news is. So we won't be diving in on the news on that one today. I really thought it was just fascinating that once again, Bitcoin had never done this before ever in the history of Bitcoin, boys and girls. 7 monthly consecutive green candles. Do we make it 8? Do we continue to break a trend that's never been done before? So far, we've already broken a trend multiple times this cycle, going from not only breaking below our previous all-time high, so this had never been done in Bitcoin's history, so going down into the bull run or into the bear market of 2022, when the Bitcoin price actually reached this $15,000 price point or $16,000 price point, it actually fell below the previous all-time high in Bitcoin. Once again, this had never happened in the history of Bitcoin, y'all. So it's very fascinating that that actually started right from the jump. What else happened? Well, it also ended up breaking its previous all-time high before halving. Once again, this had never happened. If you go back and look at all the other times of Bitcoin's previous history, when the halving happens, usually you end up getting about a 6-month period of sideways before it actually starts breaking out. And that's usually what you expect, is usually you get about 6 months of sideways. It starts breaking and reaching its previous all-time high, and then a bull market really kicks off. And that's kind of what we've actually been seeing. So normally that's exactly how it would play out. We get the halving. Again, we don't break a previous all-time high. And then boom, we get a bull market. Now, how long did this bull market last after the actual time that it took? It's only 151 days on up to 334 days. So folks, this is why I say, since we've already broken that previous all-time high, I look at that from a standpoint of, okay, cool, let's just kind of play it safe and say, where could it end up going at 150-day mark, right? And again, I'm just saying it could be a possibility that we only end up seeing the bull market for Bitcoin go until August of 2024. Do I think that's a possibility? No, the possibility is extremely low if I'm going to give it any sort of probability statistic on that one. But one thing that actually ends up happening is going out to the 333-day mark. It puts us into the February of 2025 mark to really start seeing the end of where could be the possible top. So make sure you have the 5P set up, man. Proper preparation, preventing poor performance. Make sure you got something set up in place to CYA, folks. Cover your ass on this one, because there is no guarantee of what's going to happen. Looking at the previous items of what's been done in the past, his doing things that it's never done before. 7 monthly green candles is a clear indicator this had never happened before in all of Bitcoin's history. The sucker's been out for almost 15 years now, right? Like, that is a very long period of time, folks. A very long time. And it's never had 7 consecutive months of green candles. This time it has. Do we continue in 8th month? Do we just keep on going, since it's like, what else can we just keep on breaking? What else record can we keep on breaking? What else thing can we do at this point in time? Because every other metric that has happened in the past that we've looked at to use to say what it could lead to, this time's different. Let's be real as we can possibly be on this one. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, and again, I was shocked. I wanted to send out a tweet, forgot, got caught up in the end of the day. So it is what it is. But again, you're welcome to follow me on Twitter. My name is ATX Crypto with an underscore. I do have some impersonators out there at this point in time, so make sure that you follow myself on this one. You can actually check to see that I am following a certain amount of people as well. Currently at this point in time, if I actually were to pull up my particular profile, you can see this is a profile, what it is right here, Pulse Nation co-host. Again, my YouTube right here with all the items and information. 3,100 followers. You're welcome to follow me over there on Twitter. But again, I'm only following 514. Make sure you're following the right particular individual as well. It's ATX Crypto with an underscore. I've seen these to be a 0. I've seen this one to be an I. So there's some impersonators out there, and I'd rather y'all not get scammed on something silly like a stupid little post that comes from Twitter. So I hope that makes perfect sense for everyone at that point in time. One thing we didn't get to talk about the stream the other day, because my mic was just having all sorts of weird little issues, was the fact that gold ended up doing a crazy item as well, which was actually breaking its previous all-time high and having a massive monthly close on this one. This is a big gain on this one for gold at this point in time, going up 10%. That's pretty wild, y'all. So checking all this information out, things are looking very bullish amongst basically everything. However, usually the price of gold actually goes down whenever Bitcoin price goes up. So this time everything is just kind of happening all at once, right? We got meme coins popping off like crazy. You seeing them pop up left and right. By the way, be extremely cautious and careful if you are going to partake in the meme coin game. Start out with treating yourself to a learning lesson of a wallet with $100 and go trade with that if you want to. That way, if you do end up taking an L, it's not the biggest L ever. But that way you can also teach yourself, hopefully, some lessons that you can apply going forward on other tokens. Don't beat yourself up whenever something runs off as well, because again, folks, these things will typically run off. They last for about 10 to 15 days. They drop if they even last that long in the first place. So make sure you're keeping all that in mind and more when you're actually paying attention to it all. Because right now, the meme coin cycle is another thing that's just popping off, folks. Like the meme cycle and the meme coin mania happening right now usually comes after the Bitcoin halving, usually comes after Bitcoin is pumped and Ethereum is pumped and altcoins have pumped. The meme coin mania usually starts there. Meme coin mania has already happened, folks. We've heard all about it. Solana is definitely the chain that has the meme coin mania happening right now. So neither here nor there on the whole exchange for Solana, but pretty wild, folks. Again, whenever I'm looking at these charts, this is the Impulse MACD. It's still showing mad freaking bullish over here as well. Freaking crazy on this one, right? This is actually something that I do pay attention to. The blue line separating from the orange line is wildly bullish, y'all. Super freaking bullish when it comes to this. Even breaking this down on the weekly, you can see it's had a couple of fluctuations where it's actually just continued to somewhat get close to it and then just keep on rallying up. I think the daily was the only one, and even that one started flipping into a bullish as well. It actually flipped a little bearish on this one for a very short period of time. This isn't that long at all. And you can see as soon as it actually flipped bearish, it only went down for a few days before it actually started picking back up. And essentially, it was down for 7 days before it actually made new support, new higher highs and higher lows once again. And you can see that Impulse MACD is starting to slightly curve back up once again. So things are looking pretty freaking bullish overall in the crypto landscape right now. So just be mindful of that. Ethereum is currently sitting at $3,512. Again, this is on the daily right now. And we are basically holding this level of support. This is actually the 786 level right here that you can actually see. So you got 786 and you got the 618. And essentially, when you come on over here, we're just playing in this little zone. We call it the golden pocket zone. Anywhere between the 618 and the 702 is really the golden pocket. But I just leave mine at 786 for an ease of use of how I've kind of looked at my charts and what I've gotten used to and accustomed to myself. So I call this really the golden pocket. We're playing in here. Things are looking to slightly turn onto a tick more bullish again. It did flip a little bearish at this point. And you can see from that bearish point, it did go down roughly about 20% over the next 4 days. And it's currently still down roughly around 10% over the last 16 days. But I don't see that lasting too much longer if this thing does want to go ahead and start flipping up into the bullish item, especially moving over into, say, the weekly, where you actually see this Impulse MACD once again very far apart from the blue line and the orange line, which again, really, really bullish. And we aren't even really testing out this 618. We did actually come back. We used it as a slight level of support, but once again, everything has just kept on pushing up. And then even on the monthly right now, whoops, that's a 3-month. Even on the monthly right now, you can see we actually have some pretty bullish candles. Now, again, I'd say this is actually a red candle. However, this is considered to be a doji engulfing candle. And usually when you get these types of candles for the trading pattern, when you see just a line and then the wicks up and down, that's a doji engulfing candle. It does signal bullish behavior as well, which you can actually see basically indicated that exact point in time where we started flipping into a bullish indicator right here going pretty I'd say not parabolic just yet, because again, we aren't fully at that level where I'm going to say we're parabolic, but we got the halving coming up in roughly about 18 days now at this point in time, 17 if you really want to get technical with it. I think there's about 13 more minutes before the day ticks over for today. So again, 18 more days at this point in time before the halving. Whether or not the halving is that point in time where things just all start taking off like crazy, I don't think that's going to be the case personally. I think the halving's usually been a sell the news event where you actually buy the rumor up until the halving, you sell the news, which is the halving. You typically go sideways for, on average, about 3 months to 6 months after the halving. However, this time is proven to be different, folks. This time is absolutely proven to be different. Checking out PulseChain prices over here. This is something that actually shocked several people over the weekend. We're going to be pulling up the charts on that in just a moment. But we got the price of PulseChain currently right above SAC, if you will, 0.0001 or 3 zeros and a 1. Price of PulseX currently 40404. Price of the Ink token at $5.20, and the price of Hex over on PulseChain at 1 penny. Current price of Hex on Ethereum is currently sitting at 0.0021, with again the ratio staying basically at the 1 to 5 ratio. So that's definitely something I am keeping an eye on, and I've shared that as well on many things. Where'd my chart go? Here we go. All right, so this is actually going to be the Hex chart over here. Again, I was actually kind of comparing it against PulseChain to see maybe how that had been performing. One thing that we actually used and pulled up on the Patreon call last Sunday, or yesterday, I guess at this point in time, was pulling up all of the ratios in comparison to see where they are. So in the beginning, when PulseChain first launched, Hex actually outperformed Hex on PulseChain, actually outperformed. And again, if I just say Hex, y'all, I am talking about Hex on PulseChain. I don't know if I need to keep on clarifying that going forward. You let me know if that's something I need to keep on clarifying, but neither here nor there. So whenever I say Hex, again, Hex on PulseChain. So Hex actually outperformed PulseChain in the very beginning, almost by 2.5% on that one, or 2.5x. And then PulseChain started outperforming Hex over again. And so one thing that you end up doing is, if you are providing liquidity within these ranges, keep in mind things like to come back to a median, right? And what we're finding is the median to be right in this range right now. So even if the price was to go back up again, roughly about 78%, you're still falling in this range. And I do see there to be points in time where one asset will outperform the other asset. So in the beginning, Hex was the leader. Right now, Pulse is the leader right now and leading the pack in terms of what's going on in these performances. And again, this is something that I do consider and look at. The price of PulseX again is currently sitting at 40404. And that's just fun to say all that. I don't know why I like saying that number. 40404. Anyways, we got the 915 EMA crossing on the 3-day on a bearish cross. We've talked about this already multiple times. However, being that it did actually cross, that is actually a bearish cross on that sense. We had the bullish parallel channel that we've been basically sitting in since really about June at that point in time, right? September, August, and June, all the way back here is where we started drawing this little parallel channel out and seeing what it is. It has currently fallen below, but again, I've stated in the past, if it falls below and it bounces back up, I don't really consider that to be outside the range. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. If it does want to keep on dropping down, that is a very strong possibility. But you can see over the last couple of days, heck, even the last few hours, the price actually just kept on dropping. And that was something that absolutely shocked many people. It did take a little drop of about 15% at that point in time, really over a few hours. So it actually shocked several people. And just to get bought back up again and for it to kind of bounce here in this little range that we're in right now, this is kind of what everyone's looking at when they're seeing all of this stuff. We have bounced off the 0.5 fib retracement level. And again, if it does want to keep on falling down, well, it is what it is. I see that as a better buying opportunity. The RSI has flipped a little bullish on this one. If you actually pull up the RSI for the stock RSI, it is trying to flip into a bullish RSI pattern to get us out of the oversold situation. Typically, when we do remain here, it is on average usually about 8 days is what we've noticed. It can go up to 26 days as well. So if it wants to stay here up until the 26-day range, that would put us about middle of April, really start seeing something happen. We just got to kind of see how it's all going to play out, but it is something that I am keeping my eye on as well. Comparing it against Pulse and the asset of Pulse, this is something that you can see. Oh, I drew all over this. This is something that you can actually see as well, just comparing the two. Sometimes one asset will outperform the other asset. In the beginning, Pulse actually outperformed PulseX, right? And now PulseX is actually outperforming Pulse. And then currently, Pulse is now outperforming PulseX. So this is something that if you are into the yield farm situation on PulseChain, and it is something that you're doing, keep in mind, sometimes doing nothing and just leaving it in there is in fact the best thing to do, because you will notice that it will bounce like all of these ranges and it'll come back down. And typically, as we stated before, it likes to find a good median at this point in time, which as at this point seems to be about a 1-to-3 ratio. So that way you get roughly about, for every 3 pulse, you would get 1 pulse. For every 3 pulse X, you would get 1 pulse. So checking that out as well, that's always fun to see. We had the ink price almost dropping below the $5 range. Did it actually get there? It did. Okay, cool. So it actually ended up getting slightly below the $5 range. It actually dropped at $4.79. Again, this is on the daily. So this is actually pulling it up even over the 4-hour candle. You can see it has retested this level a few times now at this point in time, where it does seem to find plenty, I don't want to say plenty of support, but it does seem to find some support around this range. So if I am going to be drawing a line, it's going to be simply just right there to say, at this point in time, that seems to be a pretty good level of support. Should it want to drop back down, it is a very good possibility, because heck, in all reality, you can see it goes all the way back to here at the 4.8 range, whether it be resistance or whether it be support, to see how it's all going to end up playing out. Excuse me. I've said this already in the past, but I do see the ink actually end up doing multiple hundreds of dollars this cycle, if not 4 digits this cycle. So if you're seeing this as an opportunity, which I definitely do, then take advantage of it, right? Take advantage of what's presented itself in front of you at this point in time. This is always a good possibility. Now, if it does fall below at this point in time, the $4.21 range, that again negates the Elliott wave that we actually had drawn on. But until it drops down below that range, I'm still sticking to this little Elliott wave. Now, again, it may not form the exact situation. It may be pushed out a little bit over here, it may be going up a little bit further over here, maybe taking out a little bit longer. There's no certain time frame of how long this takes to play out. But whenever I'm seeing this, as long as it stays really above the $4.21 range, then again, I'm pretty confident in this actually bouncing back up and reaching $26 for the price of the ink token whenever it does decide to rally on to the next wave of the transition. Sometimes on the Elliott wave as well, you end up getting a couple of different moves, which you can see happen right over Elliott wave. So you can actually end up getting like a little resistance here where you get one, see two, whoops. It's going to keep on drawing that. Let me just get rid of that one real fast. Let's try that once again. So you got the 0 right here. You got the 1. You got the 2, 3, 4. Hold up, y'all. My bad. Looking at all this again. Boom, 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 boom. And then moving on up to this one. A little correction of an ABC correction, which is what basically everyone's going through at this point in time. So we're seeing some little ABC correction. It's a little ABC correction. And then it's actually going to end up going back the other way as well. Let me actually do that once again, a little bit better this time. Here we go. We got the A, B, C correction. We go through, basically do the same little smaller Elliott wave once again. I'll just copy over here. And move this one right here. Boom. And so this is kind of how I'm seeing this whole thing play out. Sometimes you'll end up hitting this a few different times where it ends up going through and doing a couple of different moves along the way. But keeping all this in mind, folks, it is definitely something to be paying attention to, as it's something that I am paying attention to overall. This is how I can all see it all playing out, though. For all of the moves for the ink token, we are into an oversold situation right now. How long does it actually remain there for? Lastly, we got the price of the PulseChain token as well, currently sitting right at SAC, if you will, at this point in time. It's at the 301028, which again, this yellow line is in fact SAC price. So if you wanted to see, it did fall and it did hold as a level of support for a second before it fell through the level of resistance, or it broke through and then now became a level, should become a level of resistance if it does hover below there. But this massive wick is mad bullish. Whenever you see wicks like this, that's very bullish, y'all. Typically, that's usually meaning that the price and the people don't agree with the price reaching that level. And you can see we pushed it all the way back up above SAC as well. Actually pretty fast, if I actually remember correctly. You can see this is actually on the 1 hour chart. So it fell below SAC right here at this price, and it dropped roughly about 10%. And then for the next, we'll say 10 hours, it actually pushed all the way back up to the SAC price in 8 hours, met some resistance there, and actually pushed through at that point in time on the 10-hour mark, before now it's actually holding that level of support and coming back down. So does it remain above SAC? We'll just have to wait and see. That's just part of the way the cookie crumbles, y'all. Let me say hello to some beautiful people who are here, folks. Again, it is April 1st, 2024. I hope all of y'all are having a fantastic day. We got J-Pon in the house. What's up, my friend? I do want to quickly give a shout out to all the Patreon peeps as well. So quick little sponsor break. I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to Debbie Phillips, ES Sports, Claudia Schwartz, Sertosti, Joel Lawrence, Joe Blow Crypto, Hector Reyes, Bureau Attila, Sean, Rep Bussy, Robbie Tears, Atlantean, Jonathan, Oyston Larson, Eric Johannesson, Prospector, Darren, Patrick, Joxy Boons, Larry Eats Plants, Sovereign Man, Crypto CPT, Moonmutt, Benny Davis, Shamrocks and Shenanigans, Rugburn 222, Christopher Davis, Lacey, Heximus, Pulseximus, Arzella Barnes, SoFlo Life, Lord Jamie, Mark, Chris Bugatti, Secret Crypto 21M, Hex Stevens, Lucky Taylor, NatNat369, L James, David Morgan, Fly Flea. Thank you to all of y'all as well. So we got Guido in the house as well. What's up, my boy? Lord of the Ponzi. Hello, ATX. Made it to the live. Absolutely. Pulse Nation. Yeah, we got the Pulse Nation merch as well. PulseNationSwag.com. Go check it out if you would like to get some Hex Pulse Chain merch, some PulseX merch, all that good stuff. Fire stuff over there as well. Prospector in the house. What's up? Checks my pulse. H balls 99 Lex. Let's go. Absolutely. Things are frothy. Things are getting frothy in meme land. Things been frothy in meme land, brother. Like they've been going ham on ham on ham. Like literally, let me just pull up Dex. So if y'all don't know, there's two different websites I would advise that you kind of use to check out. The first one is dextools.io to at least gather the first one, and then the other one is Dex Screener. So the benefit to both of these is with Dex Tools in particular, you can actually see how many holders there are and all that good stuff. And also, big solution would be to go use like Token Sniffer scan as well. If you're actually on Ethereum trying to do any sort of like meme token plays or anything like that, I highly would advise going to tokensniffer.com, and it just allows you to type in a contract address, see if there's any, what are the likelihoods that the chances are of a rug pull. The things that you want to look for are high liquidity being locked by the owner or high liquidity being owned by the owner, like 90+% type deal. The low liquidity is always the easy one as well. The fully diluted value is when you look at them. There's many different things that you would want to do, but guys, go before you start aping into some of these meme tokens. Do some research and start playing around with it and test it for any reason. If you actually want to do it. Again, I'm not personally doing it. You can do what you want though. Charles Stone in the house. What's up, my friend? ATX Pulse Nation. Absolutely. Rugburn222 says smash the like. Definitely, y'all. It is free. It means a lot. It helps the channel out. Always. Tam Tam saying, hey, fam. What's up, Tam Tam? Extra T-shares. How you doing? Jason Smith. What's up? Love the name. Absolutely. Thank you. I want to change it to Hextra, but too late. Lol. Oh, you want to change it to just Hextra? Well, I think everybody knows you now by Hextra T-shares. Wall-to-wall TV says Hex is at $10. There you go. The April Fools right there. Hey, Wales only is the fool. Oh my God. No, guys, that's just one of those things that I've said in the past. You are going to get the price call right. You're going to get the timing wrong. So imagine Hex reaching $10 one day, whether it's this cycle, whether it's next cycle. You just got the timing wrong. That's all. Jay, everything in the house. What's up, my boy? Checks my pulse saying working, DCAing, accumulating, sticking to the plan. They running out of days. Yeah, they sure are. Funkmaster Hex, how you doing? Cheers. Salute to you. Jay, everything says BlackRock makes trends. Yeah, dude, BlackRock's actually doing quite a bit for the crypto space all in all. I mean, just getting a ton of eyes on it, right? Larry Fink is mad bullish in it. And I'm hearing people talk about $1 billion Bitcoin one day is kind of one of the latest things that I've heard. And again, you start thinking about how could that be possible? And then you start thinking the wealth managers and all these people coming in and all these other people and everyone with their retirement coming in and just putting 1 to 2% and all these other items. And it just keeps going over and over and over. And that's just kind of ends up how it goes. But $1 billion Bitcoin, can you imagine it one day? That would be wild. And we always think, like, I mean, dude, who thought it would be $70,000 Bitcoin, right? Many people said that it wouldn't be possible above $1,000, and then 5,000, and then 10,000, and then 25,000, and now it's at 70, damn near on the cusp of 100,000 at this point in time, going into this bull market, where I actually have it and drawn out to reach roughly around $242,000 for Bitcoin right now for this cycle. Again, there are more gains to be had in other situations, so it's not something that I'm going to be partaking in. But you can see over here with the Bitcoin chart, just pulling this up again, we got RH price call reaching the February 28, 2024 is when he made this call. He said 241,500 was what he said. Looking at this chart as well, if Bitcoin does in fact reach the 4.236, which normally it does, by the way, last time it just missed it by a smidge, but guess what? We ended up hitting that 4.236 on this one, this cycle at this point in time, but it did miss it by a smidge. It did break the 3618. So even reaching 3618 still puts it at Bitcoin at $210,000. The 4.236 puts it at $242,000 as well. So damn, that's pretty crazy, right? I think it's crazy. Costa says one more green won't do any harm. Dude, it won't, for sure, right? Just keep on breaking another thing. Now it's hit 8 times, eight consecutive months of green candles. And again, like, how far will it go? Does it make it a full 12 months of green candles? That would be wild. That would just be like mind blowing right there. Absolutely crazy for sure. 100% right for sure. What's up, Academaciated? Hope you're doing well. A fam in the house. Up, fam. 52 weeks, almost there. Past three years flew by in retrospect, didn't it? Doesn't it? Like, dude, read that again, y'all. Check my pulse again. 3 years flew by, because it literally does. And it's easy to think about this if you have kids, because like everyone who has kids understands that, you know, they just grow up so fast, man. They like literally just, they're here and like, holy cow, daughter's gonna be driving in a couple years type deal, right? You start thinking about that kind of stuff and you're like, wow, that just flew by. In reality, if you're looking at the charts all day, every day, yeah, it seems like time's just ticking by slow. But folks, we're already a quarter of the way through 2024, right? Literally 3 months have already passed. 3 full months have passed in 2024. In another 3 months' time, however fast that went for you, you're going to be halfway through 2024. And then by the time that's done, another time after that, just double it once again. You're a full year through 2024. It flies by, folks. It really does. Time just keeps on ticking into the future, right? So 52 weeks absolutely almost came super fast. And we're not too far off right now. Just imagine the money that moves into the RH ecosystem. Facts on facts. I don't need to imagine $0 is going into RH ecosystem. That man is washed. I don't believe that is all, but nah, it didn't fly by. It's been 3 years of hell, and Hex is still 99% down. Wall to wall, man. I feel you. I feel the pain. And dude, one thing I'll say is sometimes when you end up going through some of these little moments as well, whether it's the journey, the strength, and all that good stuff, this is part of the conviction that is what it is to you, right? So I try to urge all of you just to stay and not waver in your commitment, because what tends to happen is as soon as you decide to jump ship, whether it's, you know, start going and chasing a different coin or whatever the case may be, that's whenever whatever it is, for whatever reason, the gods, the crypto gods, whatever, they just want to come back and humble you, and that's when things just starts taking off, man. It's wild. So if you can, just like stay the course, find some way to renew your vigor, find some way to understand that today is just another stepping stone toward tomorrow's success. And just remember, folks, that it's really all about just like taking that step forward. Again, like, you have to realize that we went through a bear market. Bear markets last 3 years. That is absolutely going to be a thing. Not only did we go through a bear market, we also launched PulseChain during that bear market as well, which is like, you have the launch of the sacrifice for PulseChain. You had the sacrifice for PulseX. All those things started happening going into a bear market. It took 2 years for PulseChain to launch almost, right? All those things have ended up playing out. But if you look at the actual charts and what the history has shown us, going back and looking at any other chart previously at this point in time, it is very likely that we have just a massive pump, not necessarily in the next 3 months. I want to get that out of the way. I want all your minds to get fixed on this mindset, to stop thinking that something's going to happen in 3 months. What happens in a full year from now, though? Because now is when the clock actually ticks, which is why you have a full year of DCA opportunity, which is what I said. You DCA for the first 12 to 18 months of PulseChain being out, and then you can stop DCAing. Then you let it ride, and then you let it do its thing. Well, folks, we're only 10 months in. Think about it like a marathon, right? You have the marathon, which is 26 miles. Cool. We're 10 miles through this marathon right now. That's it. That's the only way you have to think about it. If that helps your mindset, I hope it helps your mindset. But to look back and just be negative the whole time, negativity only breeds more negativity. And I can promise you that much. You have a negative outlook in life. You have a negative outlook in a whole bunch of other stuff. So change what you actually end up doing. Stop worrying about crypto and what it's going to do in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, next month, right? Start looking into the future, or start working on yourself at that point in time, right? Instead of worrying about what's going on with the crypto game, start taking care of your personal health. because that's what really matters at the end of the day. Start spending some time with some family. Start calling some people that you haven't had in a while. Start telling them that you love them, right? All that good stuff, because that's what matters. And I promise, like, if you hang around negative people, you become negative. It's 1000% possible. And if all you are is on Twitter and all that good stuff, where negativity is like just going out the window and out the wazoo, then yeah, dude, you're gonna feel some type of way. It's gonna impact you some type of way. Find a way to get that done. Get out of the crypto game. If you are 99% down, well, clearly there's no point in selling when you're 99% down. So fucking stop looking at it, right? Stop looking at it, walk away, and come back in a couple years. See what happens. If I had bought Bitcoin, dude, I've said this so many times in the past. I was told about Bitcoin back in 2013. Didn't do anything. I was told about it in 2015. My boy was trying to get me on, living in Jamaica and all that good stuff. Didn't get me on, didn't get it started. By the time I actually got in, it was fucking 2018, right? The bear market was going at that point in time as well. I was going through, still buying, still doing it every single day, but I was like trying to make up money that I didn't make up because I wasn't in early enough. So I was doing all this other stuff and got wrecked, man. I ended up doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff to trade myself out. I ended up probably, if not at a wash, if not losing money at that point in time. Finally found Hex and was like, oh, weight lifted off my shoulder. Whether or not the price appreciation did what it does or whatever the case may be, that's completely neglecting the point of what it's actually changed from my mental perspective about all of it. I no longer feel the need to constantly look at the chart and trade every single 5 minutes. I no longer feel the need to have a short-term mindset where it's only a vision of 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 1 month. That was my long-term mindset, dude. Like, that was crazy, right? What's going to happen in the next month? That was wild, dude. That used to be my mindset. So whether or not the price is down, dude, okay, cool. What's going to happen in the future? Nobody knows, man. So if it's down right now, there's no point in selling. Let it be. Stop looking at it. And then you come back years later and you're like, holy shit, I'm glad I didn't do anything. That's what I would say. But anyways, I understand how you feel, man. Again, your feelings are valid at that point in time. It's not like they aren't, man. It's just to keep it as transparent as possible. Like, I know we have it. We've all faced moments of doubt. We've all had moments of concern, right? Questions have arisen as we've seen all the other cryptos start pumping and surging, but ours is just kind of chilling, if not stagnating, if not down for the Hex at this point in time. But again, like, your feelings are valid, man. I'm not saying they aren't valid, right? I'm just trying to say, like, switch the mindset up on what you can. Hopefully that helps whoever needs to hear that at that point in time as well. Hex Glenn in the house. What's up? Hey, y'all. Tam, what's up? 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 Let me say hello to some beautiful people. A fam saying hit the like. Love your attitude and mindset. Absolutely. Love the hat, ES Sports. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's from Brian Magruder, man. Shout out to Brian Magruder. Fire stuff, man. Look at this. Check it out, guys. Get the whole little inside. Dude, fire. 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 All right, cool. What else? Bro, this show is so fire. Appreciate that, Charleston. Much love. Just joined the Patreon. Where's my shout out? Hey, fam. Hey, shout out to all the Patreon peeps as well. For real, man. Much love to all of you. It always just, means a lot just seeing the love, seeing the support, seeing all that good stuff. So let me see what's going on as well. I do see A-Fam in the house. What's up, A-Fam? Hey, you'll be on the next one, man. I can't get it done this quickly while I'm on stream, but you'll be on tomorrow's, man. I'll get you updated. I'll get you in there for sure. But I'll see you in there, man. Much love to all the Patreon peeps as well. And for real, man, much love. Alan, please don't spam the chat. I don't know how to use Patreon. Hey, man, there's a ton of stuff. One thing I will say, AFAM, is join the Telegram. I'll get you over the link in a second as well whenever I'm done with the stream. If the message didn't automatically come through for whatever reason, if it didn't. But again, if it has not come through, just know that I'll get you a message here in just a moment. The Telegram is where everything is actually set. I have all of the previous live calls streamed and pinned, so you can go through. I have all of the spreadsheets and charts that I use for everyone who wants to use it as well. That's part of what I do as well. And you can keep track of your own entries. You can have your beautiful average DCA calculator, a beautiful profit taking calculator. So if you aren't familiar with how to take profits, you'll understand when you actually start doing it as well. But yeah, let me actually shoot over AFAM a quick message since we talking about it, since I'm in here already at this point in time. Let me send AFAM the quick little message and notification on this one as well, y'all. Boop-a-doo. And normally, again, I'll actually end up doing this typically whenever the whenever the actual stream isn't going on. But you know what? For AFAM, dude, he deserves it. He's been here since the beginning, and much love to AFAM as well. So you just got that. Check your little messages as well. And again, I'll definitely get you in there. Charleston, you're amazing. Appreciate that as well. ATX in the house for sure. Chaztown started buying Hex at 14 cents. That price is going amazing with what I was able to accumulate. Feel very blessed. Going to be very exciting. Hardest easy thing I had to learn was delaying gratification. 1000%, man. And that's one of those things that, like, when you start looking at it, so look back at this, man. This is such a great point that Checks My Pulse just said. So the easiest way to think about it, let me see something real quick. So whenever I started thinking about some stuff as well, right? And the like how much I would get. So let's just do some fun math, okay? So if you were buying, we'll say $1,000 worth of Hex, because maybe that was just an average entry price or whatever, even at 10 cents, you would get roughly around 10,000 Hex. That was all you got. It was $1,000 at 10 cents, got you 10,000 Hex. Pretty easy to do. Well, that same $1,000 when it was 30 cents only now got you 3,333 Hex, right? So that same exact $1,000 that you were paying for at 33 cents or 30 cents at that point in time would end up putting you right in that ballpark of only getting 3,000 Hex. Well, now for the $1,000 at this point in time, at the current price that it's at right now, at a penny, you would get 100,000 Hex for that same $1,000. So if you were buying it when it was 10 cents, if you were buying it when it was 20 cents, if you were buying it when it was 30 cents, I don't know why you wouldn't buy it whenever you get a much better deal. Like, to everyone new to the ecosystem, they're getting a better deal than you ever got. You know what I mean? And that's why so many people have a tough time, say, onboarding other people, because they are getting a better price than they actually ended up doing than yourself, right? Something that was a tough thing for me whenever I first started onboarding individuals was I was like, dude, I was buying it at 20 cents and 30 cents, and I was buying it all through there, right? I was sacrificed, all that good stuff, right? Because that I believed in the where it could possibly go. It's going to $1. It's doing a double every single 45 days. I got caught up in that hype, man. I was just in that position. Now at this point in time, I look at it to where I'm like, dude, if I could have taken all that capital and put it where it's at right now, I'd have so much more. But dude, who gives an F? Right? It taught me so many good things at this point in time. I'm not going to say I wish I would have, I wish I could have. I don't like saying that crap. What are you going to do about it right now? Here's a fun thing. If you ever heard of the paradox of, the butterfly effect. So if you go back in time, change one thing, it can have a massive impact on the future. What if you could change that one small thing right now to have a massive impact on your future? You have the ability to do that right now. So many people are missing that opportunity because they're jaded from a previous point in time. But for people who are coming in brand new to the ecosystem, they're getting a better deal than 90% of the people who sacrifice for PulseChain. They're getting a better deal than 90% of the people who sacrifice for PulseX, right? Because their sacrifice price is at 0.0001. Well, right now the price of PulseX is at 0.40 in a 0.40 in a 4. They're getting almost a 60% better deal. Like, that's pretty awesome. To all the people coming in brand new, congrats, man. Like, salute. I applaud, right? At that point in time. So it's just one of those things, for sure. Just reading the AFAM's chat over here. It's just funny. But that's just one of those things that, again, instead of looking back and saying, oh man, if I can go back in time and change this one thing, I would. Well, what if you can go back in time and instead of going back in time, change the one thing right now in the present, right now, so it can have a massive impact on your future? That's the way I look at it. So stop crying about like what would have happened, what could have happened, what could have, like, I get it, man. Right? I get it. We're all feeling that way. But at the same time, I say, bro, like, at this point in time, what are you going to do about it? Like, okay, so you end up crying about it the whole time. What are you going to do about it? And DCAing is by far one of the best things to do. You DCA for the first 12 to 18 months. I've always said that since launching my channel. You DCA for the first 12 to 18 months of PulseChain launching. Then you figure it out from there. Then you go back and look, okay, cool. After 18 months, you stop DCAing. Simple as that, man. Because then we're entering into the bull market. Then you're actually going into the full bull. Simple as that, y'all. And we have roughly about another 8 months to go of DCAing before we just take off. Kind of the way I look at it right there. And by take off, I do mean past a 3x and beyond. I actually mean going into the 10x range, 20x range, 100x range and beyond at that point in time. I got some fun charts I'm going to be pulling up. I'm going to be making a video on that as well, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. Other than that, guys, again, so much love to every single one of y'all. So much love to AFAM for joining the Patreon. I feel like a boomer on there. Clickety clack clack clack. I need a tutorial. Lol, too funny. Thanks, man. Of course, I'll fiddle with it. Telegram's, again, by far the best way to do it right there, AFAM. There's so many things that happen in the Telegram just to help everyone out. And also, everything's pinned in Telegram, so you don't have to worry about playing through Patreon, but you're welcome to figure it out for whatever works for you. Other than that, guys, I'll be back on tomorrow's episode. So much love to everyone, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the